Minnie Kennedy, born on Hobcaw Plantation, December 25th, 1916. My last birthday, I was 91 years old. This was completely segregated area of America, if not the whole of America. And blacks were not allowed to be born in hospitals. So we had to be born at home. So my mother and the midwife, she said, when you popped out of my womb, you got a hold of the midwife's apron and you wouldn't let go. And she couldn't pry my fingers loose. My mother couldn't pry my fingers loose. They called my dad in the room. "William, come here," my mother said. "I think I have a witch." So when I was old enough for her to tell me the story, I said to her, "Mom, you didn't have a witch, you had a rebel. I was telling you something, but you didn't know what I was saying. I was telling you, put me back where I was, it's too dangerous out here." My mother and father had 13 children, but 7 of us lived beyond infancy. At this point, what you're seeing today is the last living person of my family. My parents are gone, all my siblings are gone. Born on Hobcaw Plantation, which was Bernard Baruch's plantation. You probably heard of him. He was counselor to maybe 4 or 5 presidents. And he was a financier with the Wall Street, all that stuff. I don't know a thing about it because it meant money. I didn't know anything about having money. He bought about 1,800, I guess, acres of an existing plantation. The existing plantation, which included all the pieces that Baruch bought, had slaves. Baruch did not need them as slaves, so he put them on a wage basis. Luckily for us, my father and mother were on one of those pieces that Baruch bought. My mother was Baruch's cook. So she cooked for Churchill and Roosevelt and all. My dad was the jack of all trades, and he would take Baruch's visitors duck hunting. So we got to see, not to know, but we got to see President Roosevelt, Churchill. And I had a sense of kind of a negative feeling about my mother's work that she did for a living, and my dad's work. I thought they were too domestic, and they had too many bosses, and the bosses were not even of the same color. When I told my mother that I was a rebel, I was. And I grew up with strong, negative feelings about segregation, because I didn't understand it. Even when I couldn't read, I didn't learn yet to read. I would take a book, stretch out on the sofa, and make like I'm reading. And my mother, "Minnie, put that book down, go in that kitchen and wash those dishes." My dad, "Leave the girl alone, she's the only one in this house who pick up a book to read." My parents, they pushed for education. Baruch had told my father that whenever any of his kids finished high school, if they wanted to go to college, he would pay. And that's where they made a mistake, because I heard that. "That Minnie sure is rude." My dad, "You shouldn't have done it. The man forgot." So I said, "But Dad, a promise is a promise." You know, I didn't care what they called me. I had my education, and I had a note from the principal to come back home and teach. So I thought I'm on my way. So when I taught here, the pay for teachers was monthly salary $50. So after 3 years, I said, "I heck with this doesn't make no sense." So I packed a little bag. I was not coming back for no $50. I can pick up pennies on the street and make more than $50 a month. Wherever Dr. King was marching, this old Jewish woman and I would get on that bus in New York and end up there. And we were on all of his marches since then, the march Selma to Montgomery, all of those marches. He was my salvation.
But I have a dream today.
When Dr. King was I have a dream, I was sitting there.
Sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream.
And I could feel the tension going out of my body. It was then that I felt free.
Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
After that day, with listening to Dr. King, because there was some trust that things could get better. That's the first time I ever felt that, that things can get better. You have to do it. Dr. King's emphasis and deep down inside of me, mine was not so much civil rights as human relations. And that's what Dr. King was all about. And if you remember a little piece of one of his speeches, he says, don't judge my kids by the color of their skin, but by the character of their, of their personality.
My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
It's who you are and how do you treat other people and how do you permit other people. Human relation. I was born a person who asked questions. Why? My mother, stop with the why, And so I didn't get too many answers, but nobody stopped me asking questions. I keep asking God when I pray, what did you put me down here to do? I feel so useless. So I said, sometimes I think I hear a little voice in my ear say, you'll stay there till you figure it out. So I'm 91, I'll probably be here till 1,000 or something. I can't figure it out.